questions, feel free to ask them. I'll try to keep looking for hands up, but even if you just unmute yourself and ask a question, you're very welcome to do that. Before we get started, let me just mention that I'm going to present just a straightforward overview of our LLM in the US legal system program. And I'm going to talk about two different options for you all to participate in that program. And then Laurette is I'll invite Laurette to talk about her experience here at Cincinnati. Before we get started, however, since this is just an overview, I would invite you, if you would like, to share in the chat your name and your email address, because we do have some videos and interviews with students and things like that that I would be happy to share with you separately if you don't mind leaving me your email address. All right, so you could just put those straight in the chat and I can capture that at the end. Okay, let me take a moment here and share my screen so that I can show you some photos of Cincinnati while we talk. Okay, do you see a beautiful, here we are. Do you see a beautiful photo of the Cincinnati skyline now?
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with telling you a little bit about the city of Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati is a major Midwestern city. It could be one that you've never heard of. That's possible. It's a city right in the heart of the United States. We're in the state of Ohio, right along this beautiful Ohio River. And on the other side of the river is the state of Kentucky. So fun fact, when you fly to Cincinnati, our international airport is actually in Kentucky over here, which confuses people, but it's right across the bridge. So Cincinnati has just about everything you could imagine looking for in a city. We have major professional sports teams. We have a world-class art museum, symphony, opera, an amazing park system. And it's a wonderful place to be a lawyer. In Cincinnati, we have major courthouses for both the state courts and the federal courts. We have hundreds of law firms, and we're also the worldwide headquarters for some very important Fortune 500 companies, including Procter & Gamble, GE, etc. Our students often tell us, our international students in the LLM program often tell us that they're surprised by how much is happening in Cincinnati. I think students spend a lot of time going downtown. This is the financial center, but there's also this sort of like the old town zone. We call it over the Rhine. Originally, Cincinnati has a strong German heritage. This is a photo of the worldwide headquarters for Procter & Gamble. So it's a major Midwestern city, but as you can see here, it's also considered safe and affordable. It's a little easier place to live in terms of affordability than some of the big, more famous American cities. Now moving on to the university. So the university is a Carnegie One research institution. That means this is a major worldwide, this is a major university. We are doing scientific, medical, and every other kind of research that you could imagine on this campus. So we have about 50,000 students. Despite how big the university is in terms of numbers of students, however, we do have this beautiful centralized campus. This is just one piece of the campus. The law school is located right over here, right off the screen. And then on the other side of this building is our American football stadium. It's right in the heart of campus. It's a lot of fun. On football Saturdays, you cannot see one blade of green grass, because it's all tents and all students and alumni celebrating and getting ready to go to the American football game. This building that's lit up right here is our gym. Our recreation center is considered state-of-the-art. It's won all kinds of awards. So it's a great place for students to work out, to socialize. We have, in addition to all to an Olympic-sized swimming pool, we have a recreational pool. We also have a rock climbing wall, but you get the idea. And of course, there's many different, both private restaurants and dining halls. So we talked about the city, the university, now the law school itself. So the way that we have things structured here, a student who's studying law, every class you take will be in our building. In our building, we have about as big as our university is, our law school is fairly small. We have about 400 students studying law this year. And that includes students who are in our 3-year JD. That's the traditional American law school. In the United States, law school traditionally comes after the bachelor's. So we have students in our JD program, and then we have students in this LLM program that Laurette will tell you about. We also do have an online program. We are the 4th oldest law school in the United States. I think the only older law schools are Harvard, Yale, and the University of Virginia. We have a long history. An old law school with a brand new building. Last summer, we opened this beautiful new law building. And we're all really enjoying it. So we even have a nice special area devoted to our LLM students. Again, Laurette can tell you about that. This is what the inside of the lobby looks like. These are just some of our flags, but every year we have anywhere, from 10, 15 or more countries represented here at the law school. So let's talk about a couple of features of the LLM program, what it's known for, or the law school, what it's known for. We are relatively small. We like it that way. It means that students get a chance to know each other, and students also get a chance to know us, to know their professors. We also have opportunities for experiential learning, internships, and legal clinics. And we are known for being a best value law school, which means you're getting what by American standards we'd say when a higher education program is very small and boutique, it's like a private school, but we are doing it in this major public research institution at a much less expensive tuition than many, many other law schools in the United States. And the reason we do that is because we are committed to having as many different countries represented in our law school any particular year. All right, so now the LLM program itself. It's a 2-semester program. Starts in August and ends. It starts in August with an orientation program, so everyone gets a chance to know each other, gets comfortable, and ends in May with our big, beautiful graduation ceremony. During the 2 semesters, LLM students start out academically with 2 required courses: a U.S. legal system overview class that I happen to teach, and an American-style legal research and writing class. Beyond those 2, LLM students have a chance to choose the classes that will best advance their own career goals. So we have some students who come in, they're very interested in criminal law. For example, we have a marvelous innocence project here, which is a legal clinic that students can be involved in. And so those students might take criminal law, criminal procedure, and work with the innocence project. Other students are mainly interested in international topics and international law. I'm sure we have some students on this call who are in that category, and those students will take public international law, international business transactions, maybe international arbitration, as well as business associations. You might choose to take contracts. So we can put together a whole package of courses that advances your own goals. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in a moment for those of you who would be coming for the special double degree arrangement. All right, so we've talked a little bit about curriculum already. I serve as the academic advisor, which is why I'm leading this call. So I would work with you as a student to help organize your classes, particularly if you're coming through a double degree arrangement and we need to make sure that we get that coursework right. All right, one thing that our students really do enjoy is an opportunity for some practical experiences and exposure. So an LLM student is only here for 2 semesters. It goes by very quickly, but we want to make sure that you have some time to get out of the classroom if you wish, and go down to the courthouse like you can see on this photo, watch some things happening in our state courthouse or our federal courthouse, see what it's like, talk to judges, talk to lawyers, and then maybe also choose to do an externship, which is really just an internship during the spring semester, if that's something, again, that will advance your goals and fits into your curriculum. Okay, so like I said when we started out, we have 2 different options for students coming from the University of Bordeaux. Of course, we invite you to apply to enter the LLM program after you've completed your degree at Bordeaux. And this is what Lorette did. Lorette can talk about this in a minute. So we invite you to apply. We also have a new arrangement that we are referring to as a double degree. This arrangement is, at the moment, this arrangement applies to students from Bordeaux who are coming through the international law or the criminal law master's programs. The arrangement will allow you to spend your second year here at UC earning our LLM, where you would continue to take coursework that supports this specialty area, international law or criminal law, and also add a couple of classes that give you the maybe the US law perspective. Meanwhile, having the opportunity to live in the US, be on an American college campus, network with US judges and lawyers. Okay, so let's talk about tuition. The least fun part of the discussion, but I know it's very important. Our tuition for our law students is approximately, I'm just going to give you approximate numbers for the purposes of this discussion. Our tuition for a law student here at the University of Cincinnati is approximately $30,000 US. This is a lot of money, no doubt. But believe it or not, by American law school standards, we are one of the least expensive. As I said before, it's an intentional decision on our part because we want to make sure that we can attract students from around the world. Students on your side who are coming through this double degree arrangement, we do have 2 50% tuition scholarships or tuition reductions reserved specifically for students coming through this arrangement from your university. If we have additional students applying either through the double degree or separately after completing the Bordeaux degree, we welcome you to apply, and we will do our very best to award separate scholarship dollars to bring down that cost a little bit. Back to the fun part. I just have here a few photos and quotes from students about the life of a law student here at the University of Cincinnati. This is a picture of the football stadium that I was referring to earlier. I was just there a couple of weeks ago and took that photo at a big game. Also, just recently, we had a group of JD students, our mostly American law students, organized with our LLM students to go this fall to a farm to pick pumpkins, and they brought the pumpkins back and did a whole jack-o'-lantern carving party. I think our students have a really good time getting to know each other. It's a lot of work studying, but it's nice to have a group of friends around you while you're doing that. What else? I think I have a few more photos here. Whoops. Okay, downtown Cincinnati. This was one of our dinners with a distinguished visitor. And we do several of these throughout the year. Just recently, we had a Supreme Court justice from the state of Michigan here to give a lecture. And we had a dinner for him so that we could invite our LLM students and also some of our other students. But one of our main focuses is our LLM students, so that the LLM students have a chance to get to know each other, and then also a chance to meet a state Supreme Court justice. We think that's a big deal. This was another distinguished visitor dinner. And then this is our graduation ceremony. These two photos are the graduation ceremony. So it's a big event every year in May. And our students just love it. So that's how we wrap up the year. Here's my email address. My colleague, Mika. Mika couldn't be here on the call today because she's actually traveling in Germany doing some LLM information sessions in person. But I encourage you, if you have any questions, please feel free to write to us so that we can keep this discussion going. But now I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can hear from Laurette and you can hear directly about the student experience. All right. Our experience here in Cincinnati.
I would say the classes. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really enjoy all of the classes here. Like the teachers are so amazing. For example, I do con law here, constitutional law, and my teacher is directly from Harvard. So we have like good teachers that are really like available for us, and we can talk to them. So like you can really learn from every teacher. The Cincinnati city is amazing so far. We like it very much. And the program in itself with Dean Wagner and Mika, the fact that they were so close to us, we're never alone. If there is anything we need from them, there's no problem. So we're never really like in the void or like without help so far. So yeah, a lot of things actually.
Great. What advice would you give students who are at this stage where they're maybe still exploring their options and thinking about whether or not an LLM would be useful or valuable?
I would say from a French perspective, and the fact that in France, like university is free, like map a plan, like a budget plan from how much you will like spend here, because this is like super important, I think, so that you know really like how much this is going to cost you, and to understand more the impact of this degree. And also I will take very close attention to the classes that are proposed, like really focus on if you're going to the LLM program for sure, because maybe with the double degree they don't have really the choice of the classes. But for the LLM, I would say to watch like the teachers and every classes that is proposed, to see they are they have learned like what specialist area they are in. And yeah, these will be my two advices for sure.
Laurette, what are your thoughts about the value of a US LLM as you pursue and build your career?
So I think there's so many, I don't know, like just if we see like now, right now, like my English is way better than before. So direct impact. Also the fact that you grow so much when you're like traveling like abroad and in another country, in another continent, like you really have to grow personally. And I think in the career, I don't know, I'm doing like a public comparative law master's degree in France. I'm here on a gap year. So I think this will like literally impact my second year of master's degree in Bordeaux. Since I will be able to really more understand the approach of the US legal system.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will say one of my favorite parts about my job is when I don't like the end of the academic year when students all leave and return to their home countries, but I do like when I get to hear from students who write to me is when they're leaving or after they've gotten home and then they've started looking for jobs, and they write to me about all of the amazing places that they have gotten hired and where they are now working. So I do see from my side that our students have done a wonderful job using this LLM to help them get to their next step. And while you're here, one thing I didn't talk about is that we do offer a lot of what we call professional development or career support. So some students choose to get involved in this and do a lot of it. It's an option. You do not have to. But we do have an office and experts who can help you with making sure that while you're here, you perfect an American legal resume. You prepare to do job interviews and to think about some career planning along those lines. So that support is available if you're looking for it. Okay, so that's all I have. I would love to see if any students on the call have any questions.
Can I ask a question to Laurette? I know the majority of the students who are online are currently studying abroad, or they have already studied abroad. And that's what Laurette did last year. She was in England. And last time we talked, you told me that it was way different from the study abroad period that you had last year. So could you tell us what's the difference? Because they might not see that this is gonna be really different.
So the big difference is the fact that I'm gone for like a year. Like when I was in the UK, it was only like 3 months. So very different. And also the fact that here in Cincinnati, there's not really French people, or I'm not really looking for them. So I'm really assimilated to the College of Law, to the US, way more than I was in the UK, because there was like a lot of French people there in Birmingham. So difficult to improve the English and really get focused on a different cultural assimilation somehow. I don't know. And I don't know, I feel like here the teachers are so good. In the UK as in France, somehow it's sometimes difficult to be close to your teacher or even like talk to them after classes. Here they are so available for us. They have office hours every week at defined hours. We can go to talk to them and maybe understand like particular point of the course that they teach. And this is something that I like a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to add that we don't have many exchange agreements with American universities. We have an exchange agreement with the University of Cincinnati, but there are not well, it's only possible for one semester, and it's open to all the students from the University of Bordeaux. And the American universities are currently stopping the exchange agreements that we have with them because there's no reciprocity with them. For law students, it's almost impossible to study in the US because the majority of the universities don't ever open the real law classes. They only open criminology classes sometimes, but most of the times it's legal studies, which is pretty much an introduction to law, stuff like that. And the agreement that we have with Cincinnati now is, I'm not going to say basically the only opportunity that you're going to have to learn American law, but real law, like you would have done in Bordeaux with really specialized classes. And but to me, it is the only opportunity that the University of Bordeaux can give you to study law, like you were expecting to do, and you were not given the opportunity to do it in the US.
I think there's also another difference between an exchange agreement, an exchange, a study abroad exchange, and being able to actually complete a degree. Yeah. So when you put I very much believe in study abroad and exchange. So I think those opportunities are very important and wonderful. This one is kind of that, and it also means that at the end, you have a degree, an actual additional master's degree that goes on your resume, will be a diploma that hangs on the wall in your office for the rest of your life. So I do think that those are some other considerations.
Yeah, and for those of you who will apply for the double degree program, you will receive 2 degrees in one academic year. So it's really interesting.
Good evening. Yes, I have a question concerning the double degree because I study in Bordeaux international law, and I was wondering what are the requirements for applying, and how many places are there too?
So that's a good point. We do need to talk about the process, the first step for applying. As far as the places, what we have reserved, 2 50% scholarships for students coming from your university. But I would say, so that is true, but I don't want people to be discouraged by that small number. Please, we are just getting this program off the ground. Please go ahead, and we want it to work. We want it to work for you. So please go ahead and apply. And even if we fill those 2 spaces, if we have other students in the mix, we're going to see what we can do to try to create some more spaces. So the application process, the first step, Karine, let you talk about that. I think you've created a simple form that they would use to do the first step, which is applying.
I have created it. Yeah, exactly. I have created an application form. I don't know if it's going to be online or if I'm going to ask you to email me so that I can send it back to you. But you're going to have to apply by December 10th if you want to apply. And you will need to fill in this application form. We will need your transcript of records since the beginning of your university, since the beginning of the I can't speak anymore. Since the beginning of the university. Then we're going to need a short statement letter, but we were talking about two paragraphs maybe. It's not we don't need you to write a novel or things like that. Okay, so it's going to be a really short motivation letter.
We just need you to say who you are and why you are interested in this.
And then you're going to have to take an English test, English proficiency test. The certificates that will be considered will be TOEFL, but internet-based TOEFL, but you can have the home edition. Or if you don't have any tests for now, some of you might have the TOEFL internet-based, but if you don't have anything, you can take the Duolingo. We will need a C1 level. That's about what you need to apply.
So if you already have the C1 level, a certificate, that will work. If you do not already have that, then we need the TOEFL or the Duolingo. What students are telling me is that the Duolingo is fast and inexpensive. So take a look at it.
I think the TOEFL Home Edition is about 250 euros and Duolingo is 50 euros. So you're going to save 200 euros. So and then we'll need you to apply by December 10th, and then we'll submit the applications to the program directors and they'll make their choice. And then we'll send the names of the students to the University of Cincinnati, and it's going to work pretty much just like it worked for the students who went on a Erasmus program. The university is going to get back to you, and you're going to have a few more documents to provide, but not that many.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Are there any other questions?
Yes, hi. I was just wondering if the OIB class degree, I don't know if it's called a degree, but if it was considered as being some sort of level in English, I don't know.
Did you start out your question by asking about OIP?
OIB.
That's the International Baccalaureate, right? So Baccalauréat International.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't think that's on our list. But it sounds like you could probably, if you have that background, it sounds like you could do the Duolingo test with no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
The Duolingo is really easy to take. I'm not saying it's easy to pass, but it's easy to take because it's something that you can do online at home. And it's something that you can take within 3 or 4 business days, maybe, and you're going to get the results really quick. So I think everything can be done within a week, maybe. And that's just for 50 euros or 49, maybe.
What other questions?
I
don't know about someone's asking about the lingua skill test. I'm not familiar with that one. Sorry, I don't think that it is on the list that our university will accept.
Unfortunately, it's something that the University of Bordeaux is organizing for all the students in the 3rd year. So they all have to take the test, and they're going to have the lingua skills, which is a Cambridge certificate, the British, but I'm not sure it's on your list.
Sorry. Other questions? So I wonder, I know we have some students on this call who are interested in international law. So, you know, and if you have additional questions about that content, I'm happy to help you with that. We do have, we have here what we call the Cincinnati Center for the Global Practice of Law. And this is where we pull together everything from, we have a special institute in international human rights called the Urban Morgan Institute. We publish the Human Rights Quarterly, which is the leading interdisciplinary, so law and other disciplines, journal on international human rights. And we have, you know, we attract scholars in that field every year. In the Cincinnati Center for the Global Practice of Law, however, under that umbrella, we also share, we also bring in visitors and teach coursework that has to do with international business law. And we offer opportunities like the international commercial arbitration travel team. Our travel team attends the VIS competition in Vienna every year. And then we also offer short courses over spring break in other countries. This year, we are offering a course in Colombia. So there's those types of activities that are going on through this umbrella of the Cincinnati Center for the Global Practice of Law. On the criminal side, our strength in criminal law is both through our traditional coursework, criminal law, criminal procedure, some specialty criminal law classes, and also through the fact that we offer the Ohio Innocence Project, which is a legal clinic. It's now over 20 years old, and the lawyers, the law students, the professors in the Ohio Innocence Project are working with individuals who are in prison, but who we believe are wrongfully incarcerated. So our group of lawyers, professors, and students have now been responsible for bringing freedom to over 40 people. It's amazing. So we have a special class devoted to LLM students who are interested in that work. And then they can also just be part of the Ohio Innocence Project team. So that's just a little bit of background on both the international law specialty and the criminal law specialty. But if anybody has any other questions about other specialty areas or other parts of our curriculum, I'm happy to answer them. All right, well, that might be just about all. Laurette, do you have anything else to say? Anything else that came to mind?
Right now, no, but I just put my email on the chat. So if someone has something, please contact me. It'll be with pleasure.
Thank you for doing that. That's so nice. I think if I were a student, if I were in your shoes, it would be so tremendously helpful to be able to talk to a student like Laurette, who is going through this right now, one step ahead of you, and could help you with some very practical questions. And Laurette, you are doing a marvelous job here at Cincinnati. I know you're doing a marvelous job in my class, and I see you all the time here around our building, working hard and with different groups of students. And it looks like you are really doing a tremendous job at both working very, very hard and also enjoying your time here. So I think that's a success. Okay, I think we can wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I'll be available if you need any information about the subjects that you want to take or that you might take. For those of you who are studying abroad right now, it's gonna work pretty much like it does with the learning agreement. So you're gonna have to write a learning agreement with a pretty much free choice of classes within the scope of your master's degree. So if you need any further information about this, you can get in touch with me. You all have my email address because I'm the one who invited you. And I'll be happy to give you this information.
Karine, I am so impressed by how many students that you have in your network who are studying abroad right now and who are part of the work of your office. That's really quite impressive.
I'm glad they're here. But I don't know all of them, the majority, but not all of them.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Please be in touch if you have any questions.
I have recorded the video, so if I can find it on my computer once it's over, I can send it to you if you need it. Hopefully I'll find it. Well, thank you for coming.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been very helpful.
I'll stop the recording.